Hi, I'm Anders Togersen from BMW Design. Like many of you, we at BMW are also working from home these weeks. We thought it would be a good chance for us to show you a sketching tutorial video so that you guys can stay safe at home and also improve your sketching skills. In order for you to start, you need a pen, some paper, and then you're ready to go. Okay, so here we go. We have a blank piece of paper in front of us. We have a sharp pen. We can start our sketch. And when I first start to sketch, I always try to just loosely indicate where the wheels are on the car, meaning where are they compared to each other, how long is the distance. And then also now, where is the ground and the floor of the car. So this we also now show in this kind of way. So we're doing a side view here, and on the side view, it's very important to show the silhouette of the car. And we thought it would be cool today to show you guys the 2 Series Grand Coupe. It's a new model in our portfolio, and it has a very distinctive and a very sporty silhouette. But also the silhouette is actually quite elegant, and the roofline here is flowing in a very nice way, and also the front end is sporty, and actually the nose has a nice angle to it. The kidneys are facing the street, and here in the back we also have something typical BMW. We have kind of a strong shoulder section where the logo sits, and then also something quite nice. Now we have somehow the main proportion and feeling of the car. Maybe we could say that the roofline has to be a bit more elegant, a bit more fluid. One line that's very important is the belt line. Yeah, we also have a line here, coming from the front, and then the shoulder feature, which is also very distinctive and has sort of this interlocking feel that makes it very sort of a strong geometry here in the back. And in the front, we have the sharp nose, like I said before, and then even also the headlamps. They sit a bit higher than normal, and they're sort of facing downwards, and they also look very slim and very precise, and they're also facing the street. And now you could say that, okay, you could hit pause, and you could say we have, the wheel, the silhouette. You see, car is quite sporty. It has some wedge to it, and now it's actually time to just show a bit of what happens between the lines. And of course, when we talk about that, it's the sculpture, the modeling between the lines. It's we do that by basically in a Sketchlogic showing a darker color over the shoulder, for instance, because we wanted the shoulder to be very strong and very distinctive. And basically, when you add the value here, I'm actually using the pen not to draw lines anymore. I'm just kind of adding value to the sketch now between the lines. And so it's very dark over here, a lot of contrast over the shoulder. The front muzzle also has a nice transition. It kind of on the wheel side a bit more. We also have a kick up movement down here, sort of lining up with that corner. Maybe now we add a bit more detail to the wheel. So what I do instead is I actually just draw the spokes, or let's say I indicate them loosely, and then I draw sort of the space between them. And I think this actually also supports a sketch like this, because the most important thing, actually, you wanted the whole sketch sort of should look loose and have a dynamic feel to it, to really show the intention behind the design. And you don't want the wheels to be too detailed, but you want them to just kind of add a nice sporty appearance to the car. I do this by just not drawing the ellipses close, but actually just showing how those spokes are sitting in the wheel. Maybe we add a bit of wheel opening here in the front. Rotate the paper around so it's a bit easier for you. And then maybe some of that dark color we also used up here. Maybe you also see that between the spoke to indicate. Same thing in the back, shadow up there. shadow down here. And then the wheels are a bit more detailed now. And then you can say, okay, some of that definition now that we have on the shoulder and on the front wheel, we should also have, of course, down here, the floor of the car, to really have the car sit nice on the ground. And therefore, strong shadow down here is always good, and also really helps the stance of the car. And again, this kick-up movement, drawn now a bit more strong. And some of that sculpture also we have between the lines here on the body side. And actually it's a transition that starts quite strong here. And then it slowly fades into that rear muzzle. We show that it's a bit darker down here, and then also slowly it's getting a bit more lighter. And some of that muscle here from the top is also going through down here, that same wheel arch muscle. So now the car is sort of coming together on the paper. You can see that all the elements, they sort of relate to each other in a reasonable way, and you can now say, okay, there's a few things that we want to make a higher priority to. And I would say that for sure this line here, we go now back in, and I'm now using the pen how I started, so it's really showing the line work on the car. The front, our double icons are inside that contour. The kidneys, they're also a bit more here now, and we show just a bit of surface around the kidneys with the air intake. Some of that shadow we have down here, we let it also run through here in the front, and same thing in the back. And I think the car is now sitting together pretty good. I would say, okay, let's give the DLO a bit more attention. Let's really get it a bit more neat. I think it's important that that when you draw a sketch like this, it's important that you don't expect every line to be perfect. And actually, there's a lot of personality in every line. Therefore, it's important to sort of stay loose and not become too stiff. Maybe we now show more 3D and detail here in the Hofmeister corner. And then we can add some tricks to it now, I would say. Let's, in the A-pillar, we have mirror. And maybe we use that shadow from that mirror to really have like some sort of shadow here on the body side. And maybe that shadow then helps us a bit to, let's say, explain what the section is on the body side. That's so the intention becomes a bit more clear. Now, as the sketch is developing, I would say maybe we can give the car a bit more of a stage on the paper. So we just indicate a plane behind the car. So the car becomes, let's say, the foreground of the sketch. And this plane, we just add a lot of value to it. It gets very dark here. And now you can say, okay, we can then really go in back now, and where we started, we basically define that dynamic silhouette. So the hood section, how the transition into the A pillar, which is nice. We have the B pillar here. It's probably, you see a bit of the seats. And if the car is almost there, I would also just add a bit more darkness down here. It's always helpful. And now I'm drawing the lines with a bit more intention, because now everything is mapped in, and you can now have a bit more the confidence, let's say, to just emphasize some of the stuff that you think is important on the car. And we have our antenna up here. Shouldn't forget that. And I think we can actually say that the sketch is there.